Absolutely. Good morning, people. That's
Good
it.
morning. Wait,
So,
I have to go. I haven't done my hair yet.
James,
Oh well.
we're super early today, so we have plenty. Oh no, that's it. We're done.
Okay. We're gonna do. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the show. We're gonna have a short show today because I have to leave in 20 minutes.
But he realized he just got a key. Yeah, go back.
Yeah, no, it's my parole officer. He's shown up unexpectedly, and I've got to go do something so I can pass the drug test. Um, but what we're going to do today, even though Olivier always says that it's bad luck to be superstitious, the fact is there are many cultures around the world that have
Right.
superstitions, and pretty much every culture, including our own, has superstitions. Black cats walking past, walking under a
James,
lar, all that kind
James,
of stuff. Yeah,
you said including our own. We are a culture. We will be as a culture, right? Hopefully.
we are a culture, just you and me alone.
Yeah.
But many of the superstitions revolve around food or kitchen items, and which is interesting because I mean, it makes sense because food is so central to our lives and to our well-being that it makes sense that a lot of these um, superstitions would come out of that. And a couple of weeks ago, we talked about chopsticks. Believe it or not, we had a whole show about chopsticks. You think that would be hard to do, but we did it. Um, and it turns out there are a lot of superstitions involving chopsticks and a lot of
there's,
do's and don'ts and things. It's a
there's only
very
two of them.
complicated. Huh?
There's only two of them. Can you imagine?
I know. You'd think there wouldn't be much to talk about. Um, I have my own that I've developed about chopsticks. I've discovered that it's bad luck to poke yourself in the eye with a chopstick. However, on the other hand, if you poke somebody else in the eye, then it's bad luck for them. So just remember that. Um, in, in China, it's considered bad luck to pass food from one person to another with chopsticks. That just seems like
That's
good hygiene, but
I know. So it must be so difficult. How do you do that?
I know. Can you imagine? Here, have this kernel of rice. I'll pass it to you. But the reason is because that's something they do at funerals. They pass the bones of the deceased around with chopsticks from person to person, which is a rather strange custom if you ask
the
me. But then
bones, the
no one
bones
in
of
China
what?
has ever asked me. So in Japan, it's rude to stick your chopsticks into your bowl of rice and leave them there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And
That
it means you're going
we
to die soon, probably at the hands of your host, because it's such a rude thing to do. But
you're not going to talk about the chopsticks again, are you?
no, I wouldn't think of it. Um, I read recently that it's there are some people that believe it's unlucky to eat a fish from the tail to the head, and then other
Wow.
people believe it's bad luck to eat it from the head to the tail. So I just start in the middle, and I figure I'm
Yeah, right.
safer that way.
Just stick to the fillet, right?
Yeah, yeah. Um, what was another one? There's some really good ones. Oh, don't let the devil sit on your bread in the oven because it will stop
Wow.
it from rising. I mean,
How do you?
I think that one makes common sense, don't you?
Yeah, but how do you do this? I'd love to be able to do that, but what?
How do you?
Oh yeah, I know. Close the oven.
No, see the oven. Satan likes the oven because it's just
Hot.
like being at home. So, but the way to prevent it, and actually, I always use that as an excuse when my bread doesn't rise. I tell people, well, the devil will be sitting on it. But the way to keep it from happening is to cut a cross in the top of the loaf, and then Satan won't want to sit on it.
That's what. Okay.
Yeah, see, common sense. Now,
I didn't think of
the
that.
thing that about this that occurs to me is, wouldn't you think in the whole world, don't you think Satan would have more important things to do than to fuck with your
No, no,
bread?
no, no,
I
no,
mean,
no. This is
He's got
important.
he's probably got daily meetings with President Putin, so
Because
that takes up a lot of his time.
he has to take care of all the brains all over the world. If you
I
don't
know.
do it, well,
Yeah, maybe
no,
he's got disciples that do it. I don't know.
that seems like
Uh,
that seems logical.
yeah. Apparently, if you hand a hot pepper to a friend, it will ruin your relationship. Now, I don't think that's true because I've handed a lot of hot peppers to people over the years. Oh
Yeah,
wait,
as a
come to think of it, I haven't seen those people since. So maybe maybe that one's true.
But why? Why is that? Because what, they sick or they hate you or
Uh,
what would that be?
oh, I don't know.
Right?
I
mean,
think
what
it's just because of
they get
the
sick.
you burn yourself. I don't know.
The people love the spices.
Yeah, I'd
It's
be
fun.
happy if somebody handed me a hot chili. But you know, if your coffee has bubbles in it, you know, sometimes when you pour a cup of coffee, it has bubbles on the top. If they float towards you, it means you'll be coming into money.
Whoa,
So
I like that.
yeah. Now, apparently, who knew this? But apparently, there's a whole bunch of omens involving coffee. It's supposed to be generally a good omen, except for one thing: toasting with coffee is supposed to be bad luck. But who would do that? I mean,
Coffee. Well, coffee was what is used to for a lot of the superstitious part for to read the future, right?
y-
The map, coffee map.
yeah,
A lot of people read in the coffee map. I've seen that Turkey,
yeah,
and you just put some when you finish your glass of, especially the Turkish coffee because there's a bunch of residue.
right.
You can see a shape, and from that shape they tell you if you're gonna have another coffee that day or not.
It tells you whether you'll be able to get to sleep later on or not.
Yeah, right. Superstitions are fun. It's like they're based on old knowledge that's been passed on through history and stories, and and
Right,
you understand people that the stories were told by the elderly. There's
right,
no book. It's not like it's passed on to generation of generation, and this is
right,
why we sit down and listen to the elderly because sometimes they lose their mind and they keep telling those crazy stories, but they a lot of people think that there's a beginning for those legends somewhere, right?
well, yeah, I mean, some of them are just common sense, like uh involving like well here there's a lot of them involving bread. Like there's a lot of superstitions about if you slice your bread open and there's a bubble inside, then that's bad luck. Now that probably stems from the fact that bread was a precious commodity,
Yeah,
and if you baked it wrong and you had a big air pocket inside, that was a waste. So that was not good. That means the bread wasn't
yeah.
going to
You
go as far, I
can't sell
guess.
that part. You can't sell that part.
Yeah. Um, there's one that you shouldn't turn a loaf upside down if there's a slice missing from it, because then you're orienting the bread towards hell. Did you know that?
Wow. Well, I knew that in the medieval times, the food that was above the ground, the higher it is, the more it's going for the aristocrats and nobles. And
Ah,
the closest to the ground or under the ground, that's what goes to the small people or called the plebe. Plebe is the public, but plebe is the mass.
I
And
see.
basically, that's why a lot of the time you're going to see birds pate and those very, like all the birds that was really, really prime into the stables because it comes from the sky. So anything up, like apples, pears, everything that's up closer to heaven or to the gods or whatever it is, it's something that they would like to eat. But anything under the ground, which was close to hell, the roots and stuff, that was for the poor people.
Huh. I always thought hell was in Newark, New Jersey. So what does that mean? If you if you turn your loaf towards the east, I don't know.
Uh,
My apologies to all the people in Newark, New Jersey. I'm sure it's a lovely city today. The last time I was there, it was pretty bleak. In Eastern Europe, huh?
Oh, we should talk that. What about the Dracula's castle? You know that still exists, right? That was
In
that
Transylvania.
castle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's bad
that
luck
castle.
to go there.
I don't know.
It's bad luck to go to Dracula's castle at night. It's okay during the day.
When invited, you mean?
Yeah. If he invites you over for a drink, be very, very careful. In Eastern Europe, it's supposedly very, very good luck on New Year's Eve at midnight to hold a silver coin and to eat a piece of herring, like pickled herring.
Wow. Okay.
I mean,
Like
to me, that
every.
seems awkward because if you're also holding a champagne glass and kissing someone, that could get
So,
very messy.
do you have to do it
But
like every year, or one time is good? We should know that.
I
Is
think
that a one-time thing, or is that something?
they're implying you need to do this every New Year's Eve, but I
Why?
don't know. I don't know.
So you have to agree with the calendar first, right? What calendar are we talking about?
Right, right.
Anyway, so that's
I think they're referring to the Julian calendar,
yeah.
but I'm not sure. In Indonesia, you shouldn't eat rice from small plates because close relations will spurn you. Now that one probably
So
just
what?
means they'll
I don't get
spurn
it.
you, that close relations won't have anything to do with you. So that's probably because
So
they want to share the rice, and if you're eating it off a little small plate, you can't share it with them.
really, that's weird.
Maybe. I don't know. They also believe that children, if they wish to travel abroad someday, that they should eat lots of chicken wings.
Chicken wings is my favorite food. Why is that?
I guess you like to travel. Drink and drive
Okay,
ain't so good either.
are you
Yes.
talking about the platform in the sea? You can't drive that, right?
Yes, drinking and driving is bad luck.
Morning, Friday. Good to hear from you, man.
What else? What else? There are other superstitions. If you give an orange to someone, they will fall in love with you. Do you know that?
How about a clementine or mandarin or any of those? They fall
You know,
less
that
in love.
probably comes from a time when an orange was a pretty exotic fruit. So if
It
you
was,
were in,
yeah,
say,
it was.
England or somewhere and somebody gave you an orange, that was a pretty big deal. And you might just fall in
Well,
love with them.
I don't know how true that is, but my dad was telling me that for Christmas they had oranges, which is weird.
Yeah,
I'm
I've heard
assuming
that
that
too, that was a common gift.
it's weird. Huh? Is that orange is rare?
Well, in some places, at a certain
And I
time,
was
they were. I mean, you
Algeria,
didn't grow a lot of citrus, say, in Northern Europe. Germany, where a lot of our Christmas traditions here come from, they would hang their stockings, and the thing that would be the most exciting to get in the morning would be a really nice orange in your stocking,
but a
because
lot
they
of
didn't have
those
orange trees.
Christmas things come from Scandinavia and North
Scandinavian, Germany, all those
yeah,
Norse cultures, that's where a
yeah,
lot of them come
right,
from.
yeah, exactly, right.
You should never eat with broken or mismatched chopsticks.
Broken. How do you eat with broken chopsticks?
Yeah, well, that's a good question.
I know you have to break. You have to break both of them the same thing.
I've heard that it's bad luck to eat with only one chopstick because you'll starve.
It will take too long. It will take too long.
Do not lick your chopsticks.
Well,
Don't
how do you do
stab
that?
your food.
How do you do that? You just go like this and
I
drop.
guess. I mean, I think they mean like, lick off the sauce or something. I don't know. Don't stab your food. You probably shouldn't stab anyone else at the table either with your chopsticks.
Unless those people at the table are your food.
I mean, if somebody leaves their chopsticks stuck in a bowl of rice, then you can stab them because that's really rude, but otherwise don't. Don't stick them in. Don't hold them in your mouth while you do something else. These are all from.
Like talk, like talk.
These are all from Japan.
Oh wow.
Don't scratch your head with your chopsticks. Well, that seems like common sense. Can you imagine sitting there at the table? Don't make noise with your
How about
chopsticks.
your back? I scratch my back with it.
I think that's okay.
Okay.
Oh, they're great for scratching your back.
Right?
But I usually do it before I eat with them. If there's food on them already, then it kind of messes up my shirt.
Under the shirt. That's right. No, under the shirt.
Oh, I see. Don't put them in your nose. Yeah, that seems pretty self-explanatory. Don't point with them. And don't reach across another person
That's how
with your
you know you.
chopsticks. Because once again, if you poke them in the eye, it will be bad luck for them. So
Isn't it what the wizard do with the sticks? They go like this, wizard.
yeah, but they only
So
have
it's
one.
Right.
They only have one.
So it's a magic chopstick, not a magic wand, right?
Yeah. So it's astounding to me that there are so many superstitions involving chopsticks. I mean, we don't have that many superstitions involving a fork, do we? There are knives. There are superstitions about knives.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't give one as a gift because it'll sever your relationship.
Yeah.
And they say it's really bad luck to give out a knife as a wedding gift because it'll ruin the marriage or something. These are so silly. They're so silly.
Jim, I know you have to go soon.
Yes.
And so I'm trying to get we're trying to get some meetings in some couple of farms around.
Yes.
On location. So I'm working on that. I'd love to see some cheese making jams. That would be great to maybe go to Port Rays or that's not too far, right?
No. Cheese making's a little tough because it usually gets done early in the morning. So we'll have to figure that out. But there are things we can see.
Well, the setup is cool, and I love when I went there, I could see where they put their cows and they get the methane.
It's nice to see the equipment, to see how simple it is, and how it's sort of unchanged over hundreds of years.
Yeah, but now they were able to keep the methane. See that to do energy to burn it.
Right.
They have those. I don't know how they. It's really good.
Yeah,
anyway,
I don't know exactly.
Sorry for the short show today, but we both have tons of stuff to do. I have to go back at the event right now.
Yes, I have to leave.
Very busy
I have to go.
And he has to pick up a new child.
Right? I have to pick up a small little girl that is waiting for me. She's one of my granddaughters, and she'll be terribly disappointed if I don't show up. As will her teachers, who will wonder why she's not being picked up. So I'm going to sign off and remember all these superstitions because they're very important.
We'll see you next week back to the normal time.
You will see me next week. I'll be back. That's not a threat. It's a promise. So thanks for joining us. I will leave Olive in charge. You're in good hands. Careful with your chopsticks.
See you. Bye, guys.
All right. Ciao.
Ciao, James. Thank you.